what have you experienced with emotional regulation in your kids?
It was when the tantrum started that I would get, it's almost like the emotions he was feeling were almost like contagious, right? Like the energy when he would be mad, right? Then I would be kind of like, why am I getting mad too? Like I'm picking up what he's feeling and I'm mad that he's mad. And I had to do a lot of examining, like, well, maybe I had beliefs that were almost like driving me behind the scenes. It's saying like, oh, acting that way is not right. So we need to stop it. We need to get it stopped. And then, oh, I can't find a way to stop it. I'm not a good parent.
Yeah, all the stuff comes up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, I need to fix this. What am I doing wrong? How can I adjust it? And so again, the next stage was like, okay, let's try putting it. It's very similar to your story. I was like, oh, let's try putting him in his room and see if he can figure it out. And he can come back when he figures out his emotions. I was like, well, he's not really equipped for that. You figured that out pretty quickly.
Yep. It gets worse.
Yeah. Cause they don't know how to like bring themselves back.
Yep.
It's not a skill they have yet. So you realize later, like, oh, actually you need to be there with them. You need to almost like, it's like if you have a gym trainer, right? Like a personal trainer, they're there beside you, they're motivating you, they're keeping you on track. That's kind of what you're doing is you're coaching them and kind of teaching them, just like you teach how to ride a bike.
Yep.
You can teach someone how to get their emotional regulation under control.
And there are, in the day and age of internet and a million courses out there are some amazing content creators out there. They're easy to find to teach you different ways of going about it. Each kid is different. Each parent is different. So different styles will work for you. Parts of one style will work for you. Parts of others, combine them all and put those things together. So find the resources and learn from other people. The counterbalance to this is, if you're listening to this and you're feeling like, well, you can't just coddle your kids and, you just talked about making life a little tough. And now you're talking about, letting tantrums happen. And there's a balance to this. And that balance is intuitively and in your heart, knowing as a parent, when a kid feels unsafe and is not okay and needs you versus when a kid is going, I figured out how to get what I want. And this is tricky territory because this literally is your own experience with your child. And if you got a smart one, if you got one that figures out how to manipulate you and use you, because they're going to do it, they don't know any better, they're going to push their boundaries, then you've got to figure out on the fly whether they need you or whether you've got to be there for them, but not go too far into acquiescing to their demands. If it's demand-based, really think that through. If it's literally a meltdown, they probably need you.
Yeah, it's like you're training their neural network and then you have to monitor, is the training going the way you want it to be going?
And then tomorrow their model has updated and then they're like, let's try it this way.
Yeah.
I bet you I can get and you can, half the time you can, maybe more than half, you can see the next level of their like, hey, let's go over here. And sometimes if you're in the moment and you see it and you catch it the right way, they almost are like, darn, crap. And it doesn't elevate. And sometimes it elevates no matter what. So remember, if you're feeling like this conversation is about coddling your kid, no, it's about balance.
Something that's kept in my mind is if you think of your kids almost like plants, right? One of their primary nutrients, like there's water and sunlight for plants, obviously you need good soil, but one of their primary nutrients is they need to feel safe, they need to feel loved, and they also need room to grow so that they can expand and fill a bigger space. So the problem with if you over coddle them, you're containing them.
Yeah.
Where the line is that you don't want to contain them, but you want to allow them to safely grow out. Right? It's a really difficult balance. And that's one of the biggest challenges, that you're engaging with this other human being who's at a much lower level of development, but is constantly changing. So you have to continuously update and adapt your strategy.